So this video might trigger people, or it might open you up to seeing things a different way. I don't know. I don't even know where to start. So I went to church today, which I love going to church. I love the community. I love listening to people and being in Sunday school and hearing other people's experiences and opinions and just things that we learn that we all bring together. So we were discussing like gratitude and having gratitude, and especially like in times in our lives where we may be experiencing loss or just hard trials in our lives where we get maybe depressed or anxious, or whenever we're living in like just negativity and stuff, and it was like, how can we change that? How can we get back into the gratitude and stuff? And quite a few people said, serve, go out and serve, get out of yourself and go serve. 100,000,000,000% yes, absolutely. I believe that we can be lifted up out of ourselves, that we can, when we help other people, it gives us a sense of joy. It gives them a sense of joy, and that, that expands. And so, yes, absolutely, it can help us. I do not deny that. I've experienced it in my own personal life. And so many times I've been in major depression, and I'm like, and people will be like, well, go serve. And so I'll go serve, and it feels good. And I'm like, yay, I'm serving. And then I go back, and then I'm still depressed, and I'm still in pain, and I'm still experiencing what I'm experiencing. And so they're like, well, go serve. And so then you get on this hamster wheel of just going out to serve, and you become addicted to service and to the dopamine hits of service, and you're constantly looking outside of yourself, which is important. It is important to look outside of ourselves to help the world, but when it's coming from a place of addiction to serving, and it's coming from a wounded place of not being okay with ourselves and not being able to just sit with ourselves to feel our own pain, there's the problem. There's nothing wrong with service. I love service. Service is so important. Jesus Christ came into this world to serve. He gave his entire life to us, to show us the way to serve. We are human beings that have deep pains and traumas and triggers, and we have deep, empty needs. We have needs, and if we are not taking care of filling those needs, and the only way that those needs can be filled is through Jesus Christ, through God, through taking care of our body, our mind, and our spirit. No one else outside of us can truly take care of those needs and fill us the way that God and Jesus and taking care of ourselves can. That is why the greatest commandment is love God. First and foremost, love God with all of your heart, might, mind, strength, soul, all of us. Love God. And then love our neighbor as we love ourselves. How can we love our neighbor if we don't love ourselves? If we cannot sit in our pain and get in touch with what is going on within us, why am I so sad? Why am I feeling so much grief? Why am I so depressed? What is going on? What is that hole within me that I want to go fill it with service. I'm using service to fill an emptiness instead of serving from my overflow. That is the only way to truly serve with love and giving what we can is through our overflow. It's like we have this cup. I heard this recently. It's like we have this cup that needs to be filled. And it's like the oil lamp too. It's there's so many different ways that we can talk about this. Like, we have this within us, something that needs to be filled. It cannot be filled outside of us. It cannot be filled by other people. We have to sit with God. We have to be with Jesus. We have to hear from them how to fill our cup. And it's through taking care of our body and our mind and our spirit in the ways that they show us. And then when our cup is full and it's overflowing and we have all this excess, all this overflow in this saucer, then we are able to go give. We are able to serve. We are able to do so much more through our overflow than through this needy place that is needing to take from other people to fill us. It absolutely fills us. It absolutely gets us out of ourselves. It absolutely gives us dopamine hits. It is a drug. Service can be a drug for addicts. It can. I've experienced it in my own life. Serving so much outside of my own family that my own family was neglected and suffered in their own ways. Because I thought that when things are hard, when things feel bad, whenever I'm depressed, whenever I'm all these different things, I just thought that, well, if I go serve outside, then I'm going to feel better. And I did, because it got my mind off of my life and what was actually around me. And I ignored and neglected what I was in. And it felt good going out, because you get those dopamine hits. You get that acknowledgement, you get that appreciation, you get that validation, you feel good enough, you feel it feeds something that we are lacking in our cup. And so to tell people to just get out of yourself and go serve so that you can be better is sometimes not the healthiest way for people to get better. I get it because I've experienced it. I know it. But we have to we have to take care of ourselves. We have to take care of the immediate people around us before we go out, truly, and maybe not, I don't know. That was everyone's life is different, so I can't say what anybody should or should not do out there. I just know that from my own personal experience that I have been trapped. I have been in a loop of service where it was coming from a wounding. It was coming from my own sense of not enoughness and wanting to please people and wanting to do what I was always told, to go out and serve. Pretty much abandon yourself and go out and serve. Abandon your own wounding, your own pain, your own suffering, your own grief. Ignore that and go out and serve, And I think that is detrimental to us. It's detrimental to our spirit, to our own personal growth. You know, especially with people who have clinical depression, who just going out and serving is not the answer. And a lot of times that makes people who have depression and who have mental illness, it's like, what's wrong with me? I can't just go out and serve. And a lot of times when you are in depression, I have been in depression so deeply where, I mean, I couldn't even get out of bed. So if I had someone coming to tell me to just go out and serve, I'm like, seriously? Seriously, you're gonna tell me to go out and serve whenever I can't even get out of my bed? How is that helpful? That just puts a person deeper and deeper instead of having like the compassion and like, well, you know, and just being there in it. Like, we don't have to have the answers for other people. Like, just telling people to just get out there and serve and get out of yourself is not the answer. Sometimes we need to be in ourselves and figure out what is keeping us stuck in these addictive cycles and in these patterns of thinking that is like, no. I feel very strongly about this because I've experienced this in my life, and I have had, like, I hear people just immediately going to that, like, if you're depressed or if you're sad or you're grieving or you're more like, go serve someone. And I do get it. I truly do get it, because I have experienced doing that in my own suffering and in my own grief. I have gotten out of myself and I have gone to serve people, and it has helped me. It has given me that boost. It does get us out of ourselves. It helps us to see light, you know. And so I'm not dismissing that, because it is a powerful tool. But whenever it becomes a repeated cycle, that is where the addiction comes in. That is where I need other people to fill me, you know. And it's not coming from a place of already being full and giving to people, you know. I love service. There's so much to, like, I love doing this. Like, this is service. Me just showing up and bringing whatever I can into this world. I mean, that is a service. And we can only do it from a place of already being filled up. Otherwise, it does become part of the addiction loop. I am an addict. I recognize it, and I can see it, and I can hear it. And I think that a lot of times we just keep it going with people instead of, like, really helping people who are in mental illness and who are in addiction and who are suffering and who are grieving. It's like we just dismiss that and try to put a band-aid on it and try to say, well, go do this and it's going to solve everything. And it just doesn't. It doesn't. And we need to stop. We need to be aware that we sometimes just need to sit. We need to feel. We need to process. We need to grieve. We need to feel sad. We need to experience what it is we need to experience and not just constantly run from it. You know, yes, service, it's going to help us to get out of it, but it's not the answer to a lot of things. And you know, whenever I just hear that, it's like a blanket statement. It just kind of triggers me, because I'm just like, that's I've just been in it. And so I get it and I understand it. And We are to love one another. We are to love our neighbors as we love ourselves. And I think that there's just a lot of people who want so much, to do so much, and to be so much, and to give so much, and we can get very caught in that, and we lose sight of our. We just lose sight that we have to serve from our overflow. Even Jesus Christ, like he recognized that as well. There were so many times that he would, be with the people and be just serving and healing and raising from the dead. I mean, you know how much energy that took from him. And he had to go into the mountain. He had to go into the desert. He had to go and be alone. He had to go fill his cup. And he didn't have anyone filling his cup. God filled his cup. The Spirit filled his cup. Who knows the angels that were ministering to him? That is what filled his cup, so that he could show up and serve, so that he could give from his overflow. He is living water. We receive that living water, and as we receive his living water and he purifies us and he cleanses us, then we are able to take that overflow and we're able to serve from it. But if we are ignoring all of the stuff within us, and we are just running out to serve and do, and we are not sitting with the living water, and we are not filling our cup to overflowing with him, then our service is coming from a deep need within ourselves. And we're looking to fill something within ourselves, which is not a bad thing necessarily, because it can fill us. We can receive, and it is good. It's all good. But we have to understand and know where it's coming from. Am I serving from my own needs and wants and traumas and stuff, or am I serving from just the abundance of love and joy and gratitude and peace and being moved by the Spirit? It's like they can pass the list around at church and we are signing every single line because we just want to go out and do because we don't want to sit. And maybe not sit, and sitting might not be your thing. Maybe it's walking in nature or running or doing wherever it is that you get your flow from, and your revelation and your inspiration, and where you are fed. We have to take care of ourselves, and it's not selfish. It's, there's just so much in this world. Like, if you're just focusing on yourself, then you're just being selfish. No, like, I don't subscribe to that philosophy of thought. Like, because I have ignored myself my whole life, and it got me into a mental hospital, and I've experienced breakdowns, and I've experienced mental illness. I've experienced depression and anxiety and just all of the stuff. And so it's like, I know, and I get it, and I understand it, that we have to take care of ourselves so that we can take care of the people around us in good, healthy, loving, joyful, grateful, wonderful ways. That is Jesus Christ. He shows us the way. When we sit with him and we take time to be with him and we surrender our lives to him, then he fills us, and we can take that, and then we can go out and we can serve this world with it. because it's coming from Him. He is flowing into this world, and we are bringing His light into this world instead of our needing something from other people so that we don't have to feel our depression, so we don't have to feel whatever it is that we need to feel. We need to feel it so that it can leave us. We don't have to stay stuck in depression. We don't have to stay stuck in all of the anxiety and all of the fear and all of the worry and just all of the stuff that we want to run from and we don't want to feel. We don't have to do that anymore. We don't have to. It's really amazing, but it takes time. It's not an overnight thing. I've been going through this process for years. And, you know, do we ever arrive? I don't know, but I know that I'm way further than I was. I can look back and I can see. I can see my behaviors. I can see the patterns. I can see the thinking that went into my choices. And I'm not who I used to be. And I'm so, so grateful for that. And so, you know, I love going to church and being around others, and I love the classes and the conversations and the things that people say and that they bring up, and it just makes me aware of there's so much within like our culture, and there's so much within the way that we've just been taught, and it keeps being repeated, and it keeps being like just things keep getting repeated, and I think that it's a disservice to our spiritual and our mental, emotional being to continue in the performance and to continue in so much that is just driven by tradition, driven by just so much wounding. There's just so much. There's so much. And it's not everybody. I'm not like, you know, it's just people. It's people in general. I think that we just can be unaware. We can just be very unaware until we become aware. And then, you know, I'm becoming aware. That's the thing, is I am becoming aware. And I see many things, and it's hard to see sometimes. It really is hard to see. It's hard to have been in tradition, in culture, in a way of thinking, believing, behaving, and to see that there are just many things that are not healthy. There are things that are just really not aligned truly with Christ and with God. And as we become aware of that, it can be very difficult and challenging to face that and to see it and to not run from it, and instead face it head on and show up differently. You know, that's the thing. The class was ending, and so I didn't like have a chance to like share my thoughts about it. And so the whole way home I'm like, oh my goodness, I guess I need to create a video. I just felt that I just need to voice this, because it is very important, especially in a culture of so much service, where we are Christ's hands. We are the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. We are his hands on this earth. We are. And it's important for us to recognize, are they my hands? Am I all in this? Is it me and my wounding and my triggers and my traumas and my needing? Is it me that's running this ship, or is it Jesus Christ? Because Jesus Christ is service, and he wants us to be that. But, we are all he has. So he'll use all of us in any way that any shape and form, however we're willing to show up to it. But he wants us to serve as he serves. He wants us to serve through our overflow. He wants to be our overflow so that we can serve as he serves, and not from a place of addiction and performance and seeking approval and validation and look at me, look at all that I'm doing, and I'm being this and that. It's not about all that. And we can say, oh, I'm not like that, but yeah, we probably all are. Because if we're not working on something within ourselves, we probably are, because we do things from a lot of deep wounds. I'm learning that, like, this is just something, it just is what it is. And we don't know it until we know it. And I guess I'm here to call it out and to bring that understanding and that knowing to people, because we can all do better. I can do better all the time. I still do things from, I have a life of wounding and just so much, but I see today, I see clearer, and I want others to as well. And I am for service. I love service, and I just want to bring awareness to, where are you serving from, and why are you serving, and what are you getting out of it? That's really, yeah. Yeah, I would love to hear y'all's thoughts about this, because I know that it probably is a little controversial. Maybe people might have some opinions about it and disagree with me, and that is totally wonderful, because that's the only way that we can learn. Because I could be wrong. I can be wrong, and that's okay too, because I am teachable, and I want to learn, and I want to bring truth. I just want to bring truth and to see truth and share truth. And that is what is coming up for me today. And so, until next time.